Episode 18, Escaping the Plateau, Part 2. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us as we explore the fighting game genre. In the last episode, we went over a couple of solutions that experienced players can utilize when they stop improving. Today, we have two more, forcing a change and taking a meaningful break. In order to understand what forcing a change means, let's present the problem in a visual manner. Imagine that the process of improvement is like climbing a hill. You want to get higher, so the way to go is obvious. The problem starts when you suddenly don't see any higher ground you can climb up on. You've reached a plateau. You can't see the whole area, just what's close to you. But if we zoom out, we'll see that there's a much bigger hill out there, and you simply got stuck at a local maximum. In order to escape this local maximum and reach potential new heights, you must head back down and explore. This means doing something different from what previously worked for you. For example, let's say you play Kai in Guilty Gear Xrd. Stun Edge YRC is a very strong tool, and you learned to utilize it really well, which helped you win a lot. But at some point, you encounter players who are experts at dealing with Stun Edge YRC, and you can't win anymore. It may look like the tool isn't really strong, or that the matchup is heavily in their favor. The truth is that there's nothing wrong with the tool nor the matchup. It's simply time you evolved beyond a one-trick pony. This is where you need to force a change. Invent a self-imposed challenge. From now on, try to win without Stun Edge YRC. At first, you will lose a lot. This represents descending the mountain. But only by doing this will you be able to move sideways and explore different aspects of your character. Without this tool, you will have to develop different strategies and explore different ranges. After you get to the point where you work hard and can finally win even without Stun Edge YRC, you can add this tool back to your arsenal. But now your character will be more complete and stronger than ever before. Hopefully, this method will also force you to explore moves beyond their obvious roles. For example, how Mei's 2K is not just a quick low attack, but also a dodge maneuver that allows her to evade high-hitting moves. Or how while whiffing in Tekken is usually bad, some moves are safer to whiff from afar than when blocked up close, making them solid anti-approach tools. Now let's talk about taking a break, what it means, and the benefits. It's a big topic, and we'll start by correcting a possible misunderstanding. If you come back to playing after a very long break, it may feel like you unlearned many of your former autopilot habits, including the bad ones. So one may conclude that taking long breaks is a good method to get rid of bad habits. Sadly, that feeling when coming back is just the quick process of waking up those old habits. They were not weakened, they are as strong as ever. The only way to get rid of an old habit is to work hard to create a new habit until it becomes much stronger than the old habit. Before every session, you can even put a sticky note somewhere that will remind you of one new habit to work on during this session. So taking a break doesn't help with muscle memory, but it has benefits in terms of tactical approach. One of these is the process of incubation, where your brain finds solutions to problems while you are not actively thinking about them. In order for this to work, you first need to invest the required work to study all the aspects of the problem and try out every solution you can think of. Then, take a long enough break, including plenty of sleep, to allow your brain to play with the relevant data, without the negative emotions. If that still doesn't work, you can try a more direct approach. When a specific matchup is giving you trouble, it always feels like the opposing character can do everything, and has no flaws. So take a break from your main character, and learn to play the opposing character seriously for a week. You'll soon start experiencing what this character can and cannot do, and this insight will help you think of the unbeatable matchup in a more effective way. Taking a break offers another big benefit, but in order for you to understand what, we'll first need to present Dunker's radiation problem. It goes something like this. Suppose you are a doctor faced with a patient who has a malignant tumor in his stomach. It is impossible to operate on the patient, but unless the tumor is destroyed, the patient will die. There is a kind of ray that can be used to destroy the tumor. If the rays are directed at the tumor at a sufficiently high intensity, the tumor will be destroyed. Unfortunately, at this intensity, the healthy tissue that the rays pass through on the way to the tumor will also be destroyed. At lower intensities, the rays are harmless to the healthy tissue, but they will not affect the tumor either. What type of procedure might be used to destroy the tumor with the rays, and at the same time avoid destroying the healthy tissue? Not many people are able to solve this riddle when first hearing it. Let's put it aside for now and try a different riddle instead. A small country was ruled from a strong fortress by a dictator. The fortress was situated in the middle of the country, surrounded by farms and villages. Many roads led to the fortress through the countryside. A rebel general vowed to capture the fortress. The general knew that an attack by his entire army would do it. He gathered his army at the head of one of the roads, ready to launch a full-scale direct attack. However, the general then learned that the dictator had planted mines on each of the roads. These mines were set so that small bodies of men could pass over them safely, since the dictator needed to move his troops and workers to and from the fortress. However, any large force would detonate the mines. Not only would this blow up the road, but it would also destroy many neighboring villages. How would you solve this problem and capture the fortress? When given enough time to think, some people can come up with the solution. Split the army so a small number of soldiers march on each road, and have them all arrive to the center at the same time to capture the fortress. After hearing that the fortress story can help solve the radiation riddle, people can easily come up with the solution to that problem as well. Direct several weak rays from different directions so that only the tumor in the center gets a big dosage. So the two riddles were similar, but the context of the second riddle was easier to solve, and eventually also helped solve the first one. This analogical problem solving can also be used to solve problems you encounter in fighting games. Many players who play multiple fighting games can recall times where playing a second fighting game somehow helped them improve in the first. Different games in the same genre are similar enough that you are often presented with similar problems to solve, but they are also different enough so that the same problem is presented in a different way in each game, some with more obvious solutions. So if you're stuck in one game, taking a break and learning to play a different game can eventually help you improve in both games. And having experience in many different fighting games can really open your mind, to the point where even new games feel familiar and solvable. Hopefully, the methods mentioned will help you consider a new approach and escape the plateau. In the next episode, we'll discuss tier lists, what they consist of, and how to use them correctly. Until then, take some time to think about what we presented. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe for more episodes. 何が出るかな